The public school system is not ensuring all students an equal opportunity for a quality education. Far too many students, the majority of whom are low income and minority, are not equipped for success after school. Nearly half of all minority students in Illinois drop out of high school, fueling a cycle of poverty as high school dropouts typically face higher unemployment rates and lower earnings than their more educated peers. High school dropouts are also more likely to be incarcerated. The incidence of institutionalization problems among young high school dropouts was more than 63 times higher than among young four-year college graduates. Nearly 1 in 4 young black male dropouts is in prison. A major factor contributing to this dismal picture is the failure of the public schools to educate them.
Choice is an integral part of improving our schools. Our system of education, especially in our inner cities, over the last 30, 40 years has been defined by dropouts and failure and a complete lack of choice. Moving in the opposite direction begins with giving parents more choice.
Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman said that vouchers would widen the range of quality education options for parents through competition and choice. He made clear that public education played a large role in creating poverty.
Do not underestimate the role which bad schooling provided by our present governmental mechanism has played in creating poverty. It's been a major source, particularly among black and white teenagers coming up to the slums. It's been a major source of their difficulties of getting out of the trap of poverty.
A couple of students from the underperforming Chicago Englewood schools discussed some of the violence that they witnessed at school.
School was out of order, everybody was fighting.
Fighting, like every time, like people, they get in an argument, then they want to bust out fighting. They don't never like to solve it in a calmly way. They always love fighting, which I think is worse because you can get hurt, lose your life over stupid stuff.
Sitting down reading a book or something, and then somebody get to fight in the hallway. Everybody gonna run out the room and just watch the fight. Cheer on, like add fire to the flame. Like that distracts us from our work and learning. So that's a big distraction.
For many Chicago public students, a walk to the school can simply turn into a life or death situation.
Simply sickening is about the only way to describe it. Pictures taken on a cell phone of a kid pounding another kid with a wooden board. That teenager who just got hit is 16-year-old Darion Albert, and he's dead now.
Darion Albert was an honor student at Fenger Academy, a failing Chicago public school that has 97% of the students not meeting state standards. He was beaten to death outside of his school last September. After the death of the Chicago honor student, Senator James Meek decided to propose a voucher bill to give parents of students enrolled in the worst-performing public schools the choice to send their children to private schools. A voucher could allow students to move out of unsafe learning environments. Incentives matter, so effectively addressing school violence must include some level of parental choice. The private school network tends to offer a more disciplined environment than the public schools. The private school sector has an incentive to offer a safe learning environment, or else they will go out of business.
Look at our attendance rates. The kids aren't afraid to come to school. School's a nice, safe, calm, happy place to be. So the proof's in the pudding. I mean, you look at the stats, and you don't see those attendance rates at schools where the child is afraid, where they're going to be harassed all day, where they're going to be picked on.
Vouchers would incentivize public schools to become safer, leading to better academic outcomes. Will spending more on public education fix the problems? If public education brought better results, we would know that by now. Illinois has a system of public schooling in which money somehow doesn't buy results. Inflation-adjusted spending in Illinois' public schools rose 64% per pupil between 1982 and 2006, yet academic performance remained flat. In Illinois, per pupil spending on public education is $12,363. The cash-strapped state faces a 2-year budget deficit of more than $13 billion.
We're at a bit of a opportunity, right? We're at an inflection point right now where we have an opportunity possibly to see some breakthroughs because the existing system, the incumbent system, has literally bankrupted entire states. You have states like Illinois and California whose budgets are busted. They're busted for a wide variety of reasons, but one of them is this ever-increasing behemoth that has all this political power saying, give us all this money and let us do what we want with it. And no, we don't want accountability. We don't want anybody to tell us how we can do our jobs. And most of all, we don't want anybody to compete with us.
A school voucher program would lead to significant cost savings for taxpayers. The Milwaukee Voucher program has brought in major savings for the state.
The per pupil cost in the Milwaukee Public Schools is $14,011 as opposed to $6,442 in the Choice program. And in real terms, that's translated to about $30 million in annual savings for the state of Wisconsin, and savings for almost every individual school district outside of the city of Milwaukee. So especially in difficult economic times, if you're trying to find a way to deliver a superior education product at a lesser cost, the Milwaukee Choice program has proven a viable way to do that.
Under the current system, funding practices empower bureaucracies, not parents. Central district offices control budgets, and collective bargaining agreements control personnel decisions. The inability of school districts to pay teachers based on performance due to union rules, coupled with an expensive administrative bureaucracy, leads to an inefficient use of state funds. Teachers' unions consistently contend that their members are undercompensated. Yet, the average public school teacher was paid 36% more per hour than the average non-sales white-collar worker and 11% more than the average professional specialty and technical worker. Illinois teachers do particularly well, earning $61,402 according to the Illinois State Board of Education. As Illinois faces a massive budget deficit, Chicago Teacher Union President Marilyn Stewart said she's not willing to give up teacher salaries and benefits. Instead of education spending determined by political and bureaucratic considerations, money should follow the child.
When money follows students, parents have power, parents have incentive to get more involved, schools have incentive to deal with each individual student and to tailor their needs toward those students. Otherwise, they go by the wayside as those students find schools that work for them.
I conclude this piece with my final thoughts. If there's no incentive or competitive pressure for public schools to perform, they won't do better. If we give parents a choice where they send their child, we can enhance the opportunities for a quality education. As we saw with the Milwaukee Voucher program, poverty does not have to be a solid barrier in obtaining academic achievement. Turning around failing schools does not address the root problem. Empowering parents to choose the best education for their child will induce more competition and innovation. If we don't offer more choice, public schools will lack the incentive to get better. And the kids that stand to lose the most from a shoddy education might be left behind.